title, which is down here, you're supposed to be, you're supposed to know what I'm going to talk about today, which is my PCOS story. I did a quick update about it, telling you that I was gonna let you know my PCOS story. Like, I'm gonna do the short version of it, and I will say I'm a testimony to God because of, I'm tired, I was doing some stuff, because of some stuff that I've been going through, right? So let's get to it. So the first question is, how do I know that I have PCOS? Oh, before we get on to that, if you don't, I guess by watching this you already know what PCOS is, but if you don't, PCOS is polycystic ovaries. So basically you have cysts on your ovaries. Every female has cysts. So far I've researched and talked to my family doctor about it. Every female has cysts, but whenever your menstrual come along, every monthly or whenever it comes, it goes away, like it sheds and goes away. But with people that has PCOS, instead of shredding and go away, it stays and it grows and it gets bigger. So that stops you from ovulating or even having a menstrual cycle. So that's what PCOS is. Also, it feels basically it feeds, I would say, in my perspective, I would say it feeds on sugar like a certain type of food, but it's like it's insulin resistant basically. Because further on into this, I'll explain that my doctor also gave me a prescription for metformin, which if you have diabetes, that's what I think, type 2 diabetes, that's what you would take. But because of the PCOS, she wanted me to take it not regularly like a person that have diabetes, but it's just something that also helps. So backtrack now after telling you what PCOS is, and even though most of you that are watching it supposed to already know what it is, but just want to hear other people's story, and well, here's mine. I found out that I had PCOS. I had no idea until I, decided that me and my husband was ready to have a child. And that's when, I started to do more research. We saw that it was difficult for us to conceive a child, so I started to do more research to see if there was something wrong with me. My husband also checked to see if there was something wrong with him. Growing up, from a teenager, 13, I think 12 or 13, that's when I had my first menstrual cycle. From that time, I used to have it regularly. I think from about probably 2 years, just looking back on those things now, about 2 years, like 13, 14, I used to have it regularly. But I used to skip a month, and then it became so bad that I used to go to 3 months. That's why I was in high school back home in Jamaica. They started high school at grade 7. So while I was in high school, I used to skip like my menstrual cycle, my period, just to make it short. My period used to come like every 2 months, every 3 months, every 4 months. And the older I got, it seems like the older I got, the longer it stopped. Like sometimes, I think the longest it has stopped and never come, which is very odd, and anyone that I tell this to, they would be like, oh my God, that is so surprising. I wish I was in your shoes, and trust me, you don't wish you were in my shoes. I think it was either 9 months or 10 months without period, just having, and I'm not old, I'm just 24. Right, so at that time, I think I was either 18 or so, 17, 18. So sometimes I'll go to 3 months without having a period, 4 months, 6 months, and the longest I have been without a period was around 9 months, 10 months. So at that time, I didn't think anything about it. I was happy. I thought I was one of the lucky ones that didn't have period that often going through high school. Right, but whenever it comes, it comes heavily, and it comes with a sharp pain. it comes with an awful pain that it seems at that time before I have my son, at that time it felt like it was unbearable until I felt a different pain after having my son. But yeah, I thought that I was lucky. I thought that I was like, oh yeah, I didn't have a period, so once in a while I'll do, so I'm lucky and stuff like that. But little did I know that it was causing a problem. So after I got married, I think it was 2 years after. 2 years after me and my husband decided, like seriously decided, that we're going to keep trying. So I went to my doctor, did my checkups, all of those things that you want to do when you're planning to have a child. So my doctor at that time, she didn't know that she didn't even know that I had PCOS. So what did she say? So she sent me for all of those blood tests and all of those things. Everything came out fine, and she's like, okay, just try to conceive at this moment right now. And we tried 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, nothing happened. Right, so we decided to go back to my family doctor, and that's when she went more in depth to find out what's going on, what's wrong with me. But before she had done that, she had to wait at least 6 months to see that we were trying naturally, 6 months to see if there was something really wrong. So after the 6 months run off, I think 6 or 7 months run off, and then she went more in depth. She sent me for an ultrasound to see what was going on, and then that's when she found out that I had. She did have an idea that it would be that, but that's when she found out that I had PCOS. So, and she said that they were growing and they were huge. They were huge to the point that she said that she wanted me to have surgery. But I asked her, is there any possible way that I can take medication to do something? I'm just asking, because I'm not going to just jump up and say, yeah, I want the surgery. No, I want to ask, is there any other option for us? Right? And she said, okay, she can try this, she can try medication, and being the child of God that I am, and be the child of God my mom and my family, the child children that my family is, we prayed, we fast, we prayed. And she did give me the medication. She gave me some pills, and honestly I don't remember what those are called. She told me that I need to lose some weight because it also, and you don't have to be fat, you don't have to be overweight. I wouldn't say fat. I don't know why people don't even like using the word anymore, but you don't have to be overweight to have PCOS, not at all. But being overweight, it's hard because it's harder to lose the weight and also to keep the PCOS under control. So she gave me some medication to help me shrink the cyst, and she gave me like a small percentage that it will work, because she really recommended the surgery. And we prayed, we fast. I think we fasted for like 7 days or so. And this was like a couple years ago, probably like 3 years. Well, my son is 2, so that's like, yeah, about 3 years ago. This is when everything was going down. We fasted, we prayed. So she told me to take it to help me shrink the cyst. And after that, hold on, this is recording. I think I have like 1 minute left. Yes. So she told me to take it and try to exercise a little bit to get lose some of the weight. That would help, and try to change up my diet. So I had to find out what I wasn't allowed to eat and what I can eat, what I can eat less of, or things like those. So I did find those out, and we prayed and we fasted and everything, and praise be to God. Today I'm still not PCOS free, but those pills did help me in shrinking the cyst that I didn't needed surgery, because I was worried that maybe I go to surgery and then something end up being something bad, and then something have to snip my ovaries or something, overthinking it, right? But yeah, and with that. So with that, no, we did do that. So she said, okay, after I did tests, after I think I did that for like a month or so with the pills and everything like that, and we went back. I did ultrasound again, and praise God, the cyst was gone. I had my period, and I think I had my period like 2 months straight, and you know, it was shredding everything, and that it did help with changing my diet, changing my exercising more, and stuff like that. So that God, you know, God did help us in that way. Sorry. It's very hot in here. So after that comes the next part, which I never thought that me myself would have to do. I thought I would be bomb, get pregnant, have children, 1 or 2, 3, 4, you know, whichever one, whichever how many amount that we choose to. But we had to plan. Right, I had to be on birth control, which was the next thing I had to be on for my period to come regularly. She recommended being on birth control for my period to come regularly. I didn't have to take it like every day the same time, like if you wanted to prevent pregnancy. No, I just had to make sure that I take it like every day or every other day, which helped me for my period to come. So I had to take birth control for 3 months straight for my period to come. After my period came 3 months straight, also in that same time, she did give me a prescription for metformin, which I took, and trust me, metformin is not pretty. I had bad what you call it, the cons of metformin. I had, sorry, TMI, I had diarrhea, terrible diarrhea. I had headaches biliously, you know, and so terrible headaches, right? And I just couldn't take it because she told me to take 2 tablets a day. I think either twice a day or once a day, 2 tablets, but I couldn't. So she said, okay, put it down to 1 tablet a day, which that's what I did. I did the 1 tablet a day, and then I planned. So the metformin and the birth control for 3 months. So here comes the next month. I think it was May. In May or in June. I think it was in May. Because I remember this clearly because our woman conference was coming up at church in June, and there was a pastor, a ministering pastor that was coming from a different church from Regina, Saskatchewan. So I don't even know if I said it right. Yeah, from Regina, and we were planning at that time. So the 4th month has to be natural. Natural in the sense of no birth control, no metformin, but my doctor did recommend having Clomid. A lot of you probably know about Clomid. This was my first try with Clomid. A lot of people said that Clomid didn't work for them the first try, so they had to try again, like 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. I think the maximum you can try is probably 5 or 6, like back to back. You have to space them out after that. So my first try was that I had to take, when my period came, the 4th month, I had to take my Clomid, I think either 3 days or 4 days after, like during my period, while I was in my period. So I did that. I don't remember exactly the dates. So I did that, and after that it was all the waiting game to see if I was ovulating. So I had my strips. I bought so much strips, like ovulation strips, and I bought some pregnancy strips because those were actually cheaper than the sticks, going out and buy the sticks, the ovulation sticks and the pregnancy sticks, right? So I bought those, and I think it was, I started calculating, and I also have a video in my back videos with my journey from ovulation to, you know, childbirth. Yes, I did started, I think 10 days after or 12 days after my period, to check if I was ovulating. So I was checking constantly. I think I checked like twice a day. I did it like about 11 or 12 in the morning before I leave, and then I'll do it again either midday or closer to the evening, because it's it's different. Like your levels go up, no, your level go down depending on the type of day, the time of day. So that's what I did. I kept on checking until I think there was a day when I checked and I saw that it was positive. I was so happy. So I had the strips. I took the ovulation strips that day, and I saw that I was ovulating. And I think that day, the day after, and the day after, me and my husband, we did the baby dance right away to make sure that we had the like a 100% more chance of, you know, we all know that part, how that part goes. So yes, after those days now, the waiting game started. I think it was a 2 week wait, they call it now. They call it the 2 week wait. So we have to wait 2 weeks to see if, you know, everything was planted and stuff like that. So we waited. In the waiting game, we fasted, we prayed. Coming on to June, our women's conference, I decided that God, this year is my year, and I prayed and I fast. And the lady, I told her at the convention, I think it was one night before the last service, I told her my story, like what I've been going through, and she said she recently spoke with a woman that was going through a similar situation, and she blessed the water, gave her anointing water to drink. And after seeing that lady again, like probably a year after, she showed her saying, this is her testimony, her bouncing baby boy. And I said, God, I don't want to be like them, but let me have my own. Let me and my family have my own. Let me and my husband have my own, even if it's just one. Let us have a child. And she said, come tomorrow's service, which is the last service of the convention, the women's convention. And let me see, oh, 2 minutes. And when come the next day, we went and she prayed, she did her service. At the end of service, when people was being filled at the altar, when she was praying for people under the anointing of God, she was drinking water, she was blessing waters, and I don't know why I'm even twanging her or whatever, but she was blessing water, and she at a point I thought she forgot about me, but she didn't. My husband was right beside me, and my husband said she was calling me, and I went up to her at the altar, and she said, drink this water I give to you, drink it. This is anointed by the prophet which God sent, which is me. You must drink it. Not only you should drink it, but you should believe in God when you drink it. So that's when I drink the water, I drink it off fully. We drink it off, we drink it off. Right? And from that night, I believed. So it's my testimony to say that, yes, so I believe that night I drank the water, something else just, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I felt something different from that night on. And God works in mysterious ways that you will never understand. It works in ways that would I would say, it's not confusing, but people out there would take it somewhere different, because the close gap between what happened to me at church and what the doctor gave me, which is the Clomid, people, when I tell people my story that doesn't even believe in God, they would think, oh yes, it's a Clomid. But I know the God that I serve. I know that my God was the God that blessed me with my son. So after drinking that water, she left. She went back to her hometown, and we're still waiting. I think it was after Father's Day. On Father's Day, my mom came to visit us, and my mom left. And I noticed that I've been feeling funny at work. Like, I've been coming in early from work, and I'm so tired, I wanted to sleep and stuff like that. and I did I thought my period came, but it was only spotting. But I didn't know because sometimes my period came just by just spotting a couple days, but I thought it was a period. And my breast was tender, so everything was pointing back to my period. So I was kind of sad. And I I waited and I like I didn't have any morning sickness. I just felt tired. So that's what happened. I just felt tired. So when I felt tired, I didn't really think anything of it. So on Father's Day, I noticed that I had one pregnancy test left, and one pregnancy test left, and a few ovulation strips left. So I'm like, let's just have fun. Let me just take ovulation test, not pregnancy test, ovulation test to see if I'm ovulating. Which I thought, I was thinking, no, I wouldn't be because I already passed in my ovulation date. But so I did pee on the stick and I tested and I saw what I saw. I was amazed. I saw the ovulation, not pregnancy test, the ovulation strip. It came back positive. It came back positive. When I saw that, I was saying to myself, this can't be right because I'm not ovulating. I already ovulated. But I remember my doctor told me that sometimes a female can ovulate more than once in a month. So I thought that was going on. At the time, I didn't tell my husband still because I didn't want it to alert him. So one might tell me, no, say, try the pregnancy test. Try the last pregnancy test that you have within your house. And I did try it. And to my surprise, I consoled myself because, as I said, we have tried before and it didn't work out. We got negative, negative, negative by negative, negative, negative. So when I tried that pregnancy test, I thought I saw two bright red strips on there. And I wasn't shocked. I didn't know what to say. So that was a Sunday I tested. So my husband was going to work the next day. So I said, you know what, I have to go see my doctor because anyways, so let me go in. I didn't tell my husband because I wanted to be a surprise, but I wanted to be sure. I went in and to see my doctor, and my doctor's like, nice to see you, Shana. Hopefully you're pregnant today. And I'm like, hopefully, because that's what I'm here. That's what I've been praying for. And we went in. I did my urine test right there and then in the medical clinic, and she came back. She gave me a big hug and like, oh, Shan, I'm so happy for you. You guys have been trying for so long, and it has finally worked. And today, and me and my son today is a testimony. You have peace. If you have PCOS, just work around it. Just work around it. It's hard. It's not hard. It's not easy. It's hard. But just work around it. Just change things. Change how you do things. Change how you eat things. And remember, there is a God. So don't just think that you're on your own. There is a God. Everyone will be motivating you around you, but keep believing God. And that day she gave me that happy news, and I went and bought a onesie suit and put it into one of those boxes. I don't remember if I recall it, the whole thing. I put it into one of those boxes, Amazon boxes, because my husband always getting those from buying stuff online, and he saw it and like, I got a package. I'm like, yeah, you got a package today. And he opened it and he saw the onesie and he saw the pacifier and I think a few more things in the card, and he's like, are you serious, Shana? Are you serious? It took like 2 or 3 minutes of silence before he said anything. He was so happy. He was overwhelmed. And being the case of that, my husband wasn't a child of God at that moment. My husband wasn't baptized. I was. He said that God has given him so much. God has given me. His family is healthy. Everyone is good. And one more thing that God, he has asked for, God has given it to him, and now it's his time to return something back to him, and which is his life. He will be baptized and he will be filled with the Holy Ghost, and that's what he did. I had my son April, no, that's my husband's birthday. I had my son March 19, 2015. And my husband's birthday was on the April the 19th, 2015, a month after we christened our baby. My husband had his birthday in that day, it's a Sunday. And my husband also got baptized on that day. Praise be to God. There's so much thing God can do for you in this life. But yes, this is my PCOS story. I hope you enjoyed it. And I also wanted to say that my PCOS is back and we're planning to have baby number 2. So, you know, I have to kick in gear and change everything up. But this time I'll change everything up. I want to change it to be permanent. I didn't even say that word right. I don't want it to be temporary this time. I want it to be a lifetime change. That it should be the same over time. I don't want to go back. I want to go forward. So, Shauna the other girl, sign out. Thank you. Thank you. This video is going to be long, but I'm so sorry. But thank you for watching my story. And if you have any comments, just shoot it to me down at the bottom and I'll answer them. I hope this touched some part of you. I hope anyone out there that is struggling with PCOS touched some part. And I still have PCOS. I'm still going through to it. And yes, just change a few things. Just try to research anything you can. But there is hope. There is hope, and there will always be hope. This doesn't mean that you'll be stuck right at this moment. But anyway, I'm cutting this short right now. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all my subscribers. And I'll see you later on from now, because I'll also make a next video about symptoms of PCOS. Alright, thank you. Shauna Yadi girl. I'm out. Later.